So I'm literally looking at the machine. On the top, it said Grand Jackpot. I just kind of froze. I could see the Grand Jackpot, like it kept climbing up. I could see it. A sea of people just formed behind me. It had to be at least 50 people. They're all screaming, running, how much did you win? How much is it? It just felt like a mind-blowing experience or like an out-of-body experience. It felt surreal. I created that. I manifested that win and many more. There's been many.
Welcome to Lottery Dreams and Fortune. So I am so excited to be joined here today with Naheelah. She won an incredible prize, a little over $19,000 from a casino. So Naheelah, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm happy. I'm living my best life. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time. So I know you have won a number of prizes, and we are talking about this casino prize, but with this 19,000 win, did this happen in Las Vegas? How did this happen? What type of game? So what happened?
Yes, it absolutely was in Las Vegas. It's a crazy story because I was literally waiting for an Uber, getting ready to walk right out the door when it happened. This particular win. I was in Las Vegas. I'm a member of a group called the Wealth Party. And the Wealth Party is a group that is led by Jamela Shabazz, and she's actually an angel channeler. So we're a group of people that came together to intentionally, and collectively create a cohesiveness to create wealth, right? So that's our intention, our goal, and that's what we vibrate to. So we were all together that weekend because we meet bi-monthly on Zoom. We always meet to have our meetings. And then we do meet up annually in person once a year. So we were definitely together to meet up and have an amazing weekend at the Wealth Party. So, it was a lot of fun. And we were going to a show in one of the casinos that night. And so we went to see an amazing show together after we had been at the house, having a really good time, just working on little activities to win wealth and bring more wealth to us and just giving to each other. We went to the show, and then following that, we went to the casino afterward to just, win. So at first we were together and we had our money together. We were doing like our meditative breathing together, which we call breathing, right? And following that, we put our money together and then we went to some of the slot machines together. And, it was an amazing time because we were so excited. We were loud. We were cheering for each other. And we went to a few different machines together. And that was just, some time we were spending together creating. And then when that portion was over, we just kind of broke up a little bit, and some friends, went together to other slot machines and some people went by themselves because we were kind of like done for the evening, wrapping everything up for the Wealth Party that night. And I went to a slot machine on the other side of the casino from where we were together. And I was there for a while, and I was very clear that I was going to win because I'm very connected to the feeling that I feel when I call it, I'm hot, and I have a jackpot coming to me. So I had that feeling. I was there, putting my money in, having a great time, playing the slot machines. And my cousin actually called me and let me know she was ready to go, which door to meet her at, because the Uber was coming. So as I was walking over to the door where she told me to meet her, another friend was there as well. So I just sat down at one of the Buffaloes, like a Stampede Buffalo slot machine. And as I was sitting there, I was literally on the phone with her at the time saying, okay, I'm coming. I'm coming right now. And she was telling me, okay, it's 5 minutes. So I was telling her Well, the machine just went into the bonus round. So as soon as this bonus is done, I'll be right outside. It should be, any minute. So I'm literally looking at the machine, and I could see the machine had like several levels, it was all the bells and whistles. And I could see that on the top it said grand jackpot. And as the machine was spinning to give me the win, I just kind of froze, and I'm like, wait a minute. I could see the grand jackpot. Like, it kept climbing up. I could see it. So I'm on the phone. Now I'm screaming to the top of my lungs because, it physically hadn't happened yet, but I could already see it because it was like kind of blurred, if that makes sense. It was kind of blurred. But if you got a certain number of
What
spins,
was blurred?
the sign at the top that said that the grand jackpot had dropped down into the slot, like the free spin slots. So I could see that it said grand jackpot blurred. So if I got, like, let's say 7 more spins, free spins, it would release the grand jackpot and that would light up. So as I was sitting there at the machine, my cousin called me and she's telling me, Naheelah, come on, the Uber is here. So although the word grand jackpot was still blurred, I told her, I said, Shay, I hit the jackpot. I got the jackpot. And right at that point, another gold coin lit up. And sure enough, that red grand sign came and just dropped down on the screen. Or a sea of people, because the casinos are very large. There's so many people in there. A sea of people just formed behind me. It had to be at least 50 people. They're all screaming, running. How much did you win? How much is it? Oh my God, congratulations. And a funny thing happens when you win. Everybody wants to touch you because they feel like, they feel like you have this, what they call luck or energy. So everybody's trying to get around me. And my friends and my cousin are like, wait a minute, like back up a little bit, like let's give her some room. And I still had spins because I did win the jackpot within that free round of spins. However, I still had more of the free spins. So when the casino representative came over, I just looked at her. It was just amazing because she knew just by the look on my face that I didn't want her to leave my side, because I knew that I won, but I was still going to continue to, let the machine go for the free spin. So I hadn't pressed the button again. And she just looked at me. We totally connected. And she said, I'm going to stay right by your side. I said, okay, thank you so much. So she just read the look on my face. And when that round finished, everyone was just cheering and yelling. And, I turned to her because I have received, so much angel guidance, but through Jamela and from the angels. So the angels had always given me as one of the ways for me to manifest my wealth. That
Wait. So what do you mean angels?
Okay, sure. I'll explain
Angel
that part.
guidance. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And you mentioned at the beginning of this as well that you were in this group
Yeah.
and that you're a channeler,
Yes.
or that there's. So what do you mean by that? Because a lot of people listening or watching might not
Of
know.
course. So let me explain. So Jamela Shabazz, she's from California. She is an angel channeler. So she actually puts herself into an altered state and she channels an actual angel that we call the angel, meaning the clients. So we refer to the angels as the angel, like when you have a session with her over the phone. And I have been having sessions for years because I sought out to have personal sessions because I had a lot of healing to do just from like childhood trauma and those type of things on my journey. So I have been having sessions with Jamela for years. One of the points of guidance that I received in one of my sessions was, so I can create the wealth that I'm deserving and worthy of, the angels have given me, when I do win a jackpot, to say to the person that's coming over to pay, may I have a check, please, when they get there, right? So that's one of the things that I use in the manifestation process and visualization. I had been visualizing myself saying, may I have a check, please, to the person that's coming over to pay. So it physically, I created having that manifest and physically come to my reality. When she came over, I literally was physically, now I brought that to my physical reality from, the manifestation and creation process that I have been working on to create this wealth, this jackpot, you know. When she came over, I said, "May I have a check, please?" That was the first thing that I said to her after I said, "You're not going to leave me," right? so, so I literally, have been manifesting this experience, and I with totally with the guidance of the angels, and totally with working with Jamela, for a very long time. Um, I have been practicing, within the context of manifestation, and knowing that I can bring it to my physical reality. Um, I have many assignments that I've received. We call them assignments, right? That I use to, um, just to create the wealth, and that's one of the things that at the wealth party we do together, right? So on my own, I've had personal sessions, plenty of them, and also, with the wealth party, that's something we do as a collective. I definitely sought out, even just more support and guidance for myself, because I was in a personal relationship that ended, a few years ago. And prior to that, I always worked, I always had money, I always had some form of wealth. I was always been independent, able to just have like all the things. I wasn't really lacking in any areas. However, when that relationship ended, so did my money. And I was completely and totally stumped. Like, well, what's going on here? I'm going to the same job. I have the same bills, but I had like literally more month than money all of a sudden. And I just really couldn't grasp onto what had happened. So I definitely, sought out guidance from the angels, through Jamela. And I was guided that, when you're in a relationship, you become one with the person. So whatever energy you're carrying and they're carrying as an individual fuses together. So since he wasn't, feeling as deserving and worthy, of having wealth, and just felt the energy of experience and lack, so to speak, that had trickled into my being. So it physically manifested itself with where I was. It took me a year, an entire Earth year, to recover from that. So having the sessions allowed me to really pinpoint and dig into what was blocking my wealth all of a sudden. And so at that point, I really was able to dig in and identify that, I just wasn't feeling as deserving and worthy, although I have a winning energy. That was, just something that I learned early on. I literally have a winning energy. So energy is like a magnet. So I would attract wealth to me and wins. If there's a raffle, I'm always the winner. That was what I was used to. So I was very surprised, that I had that experience. And I was just from that, and just like in full victim mode. So working with the angels, I was able to just work on healing my internal pain, from, like I said, that I'd experienced along the journey, and then from the breakup. And from that, I was able to just give back to winning, and just what I was used to. But that was before the wealth party. So since the wealth party, it has been just a dream come true, because the same day that I hit that jackpot, that I won the jackpot in Las Vegas, we had, as a collective, the wealth party, we had gotten some lottery scratch offs from just a store in Arizona. And when I came back from the winning experience, everyone had already traveled back to the house. So they were all waiting for me and cheering for me when I got back. And we had like a little cute party. It was just so touching. And so I went to scratch my scratch offs off before bed. And the very same day, I had won over $800 from the Arizona lottery as well. So I had two jackpots in the same day. So that was amazing.
Oh my gosh. And that was for a scratch
Yes,
ticket at a party where you were celebrating the first one and
right.
then you won this other.
Yes, yes. It is. It was amazing. Totally amazing.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Well,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
That is
Yes,
amazing. That is
thank you
awesome.
so
And I have so many questions,
much. Okay.
but this
Yeah.
Jamela and this wealth
Hmm.
party that you keep
Yes.
mentioning, you don't work for them,
No.
right? You're like
I'm lovely.
this is something that
I'm a
you
client.
yeah, so you're not here like to represent them, but it's part of your story.
It is. It's true.
And so what exactly I want to get into the techniques that you feel helped you win these prizes and what works for
Yeah.
you a little deeper in a second. But first of all, so you were intentionally manifesting this when you had visualized and thought about, can you give me a check,
Yes.
please? And then this happens in real life. So, what did that feel like when this suddenly became a reality, like a tangible
Yes.
reality? And like it wasn't just in your mind that you were seeing this in the external
Right.
world?
It felt an experience where I wasn't here. It just felt like a mind blowing experience or like an out of body experience. It felt surreal. It felt surreal because we have just a lot of assignments and activities, and you're working on things, because we all evolve as a people, right? One way or the other. So I like to learn, as I go, and just make conscious decisions and choices. I'm also very intuitive as well. So, I do let that guide me, but I've been able to enhance my intuition also um, through working with the angels. So, there are it's an indescribable feeling, because we're all in the physical body here, so you do feel like it feels surreal, like, okay, here I am, I'm the winner, even though you knew intuitively, you're connected to the fact that you are going to win, but you don't really consciously know the day or the hour. You do feel surprised. I definitely felt, and then just a tremendous amount of gratitude, because I always just make sure that I am grateful and express my gratitude, and I just stay in gratitude, as much as I can, because that didn't have to be me. I'm well aware of that, right? So the fact that it did come to me, and just knowing that I did create that is just amazing. So I'm so grateful. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely. And people that talk about manifestation or believe in it strongly believe in gratitude and the power of that.
Yes.
But when you mention working with the
Yes.
angels, what what do you mean by that? How do you work with angels?
So, well, in the physical, so physically, you would contact Jamela, from her website, and you would schedule to have a session with her, right? And then you have your session over the phone or in person, and you can ask questions, right? And get answers to them, and then you also receive like assignments, like things to do to kind of clear your energy and just work on yourself, because the angels always let us know that it always comes back to you, as an individual, and the individualized plan is for yourself, right? So but they gave me a clear cut path to win, and I've been working with Jamela for years, and the guidance has absolutely changed my life. So I can give you like an example, right? So some of the things that I was guided to do was a meditation for 72 hours, right? Where I am just praying and just fasting and seeing myself winning, hearing the sound of the slot machine, what it would sound like, and visualizing what it would look like throughout the 3 days. I have my pen signing my signature for the check multiple times a day, saying, "May I have a check, please?" Just putting myself in an actual position to receive a check, and consciously praying for the human race, as a whole. I'm an educator. I always pray for children, and give back in that way as well, praying for their path, staying in gratitude and constant gratitude. One of the things that I was guided to say during that 3 day meditation is, as I release, I receive throughout the day, throughout the 3 days. Just people would definitely call that just like an I am statement, or well, the angel calls that your I am statement, but I know people refer to it um, just as like either a blurb or something that you would refer to each day, right? And so that's one of them, stating, as I release, as I receive. And then also, like, anytime you spend finances, it could be in the store, it could be sending someone money for something. Anytime you pay for anything, one of the things I say is, as I'm spending, I'm winning, right? So there's several assignments that I have received. The wealth party definitely unlocks, the secret for all of the members to actually creating wealth. Even with the prayer, the angels have always guided us that every thought and every word that you have is a prayer. It goes out into the universe, and all prayers are answered, right? So if what, you have to be careful, right? Because if now you're thinking that, oh, I'm not going to win, that went right out into the universe, and now you're not, right? You're not creating a win if you're thinking that you're not going to win. Or if you speak like that, you know, I'm not really sure like how much people understand the power of the spoken word. But if you're speaking like, I came here to win, that was another thing I was guided to say as soon as I walk into the casino. I came here to win, and I say that out loud every time I go into a casino. And since you and I spoke the first time, I've won another jackpot since then in Atlantic City. Yes,
Oh, oh,
yeah,
what did you win in
I
Atlantic
actually
City?
won. It was about $1,500, and I certainly said, "May I have a check, please?" when she came over, and they're used to doing like hand pays. You know what I mean, like for certain amounts. And that was just the week before last, right? I was there, took my dad to a concert. We had a great time, just family time. And so I know that, but I'm very clear that I created it, that I manifested each of these wins. And I'm also very clear that I'm not done at all. I'm nowhere near done yet with this, because I know that I manifested it, and that it's not by luck, it's not by chance, right? I just keep on winning. And that's just what I do. But I'm very grateful. I am. I'm very grateful. Just even that I have sessions, and I am part of the wealth party, and I have been able to bring it to my physical reality. Because another very important thing that stands out to me is the giving, right? So the angels always let us know that you giving to others is really like giving to yourself, right? So one of the things that I do is, anytime I do when I win a jackpot, I always give 20% away to others, whether it be a non-for-profit, it could be to friends, family, it could be to what we call strangers, but I always give 20% right away. That's the very first thing I do, is give to others, because giving back, visualization, it's all part of the manifestation process. And so that's how I know that I consciously know that I brought it to my physical reality. I created it.
Wow, I love it. Yeah, and they say, on a quantum level, Well, and on a spiritual level, all kinds of levels, but even on the scientific level, that we're all
Yes.
connected energetically. And so that resonates with me with you saying that. You mentioned in the beginning that you did an ah
Yes.
meditation before the
Yes.
19,000 win, I believe. So I interviewed someone that won a pretty substantial, pretty big casino
Mhm.
prize as well from I think it was a slot machine as well, but she did this awe meditation in her car before going
Yes.
into the
Yes.
casino as well. So what is this awe meditation? Like what is this awe meditation and what does it do for
Sure,
you?
yes. So it's intentional breathing, right? So the angels always let us know that when we breathe in, right, and then we take our time and release that breath, just with like as if you felt relief, or you made it, you did it, you don't feel any pressure, you just release, right? And it's part of the as I release I receive. So you definitely allow your mind to know that you're just detached, and you just are you're in a meditative state when you do that, right? So I actually do it before as well. I do three breaths, right, where I just take my time, and the angels actually had me practice it in a session, and then also the whole wealth party, we all do it together as well, but we just take that air in, that fresh air, that deep breath, we breathe in really deeply, and when we let it out, it's just like a release, like and you also visualize your goal when you're doing that, right? So when you're doing your breathing, you're doing your visualization as well for the manifestation process, and you are literally seeing yourself in that moment with your win, or going to your mailbox, you have a check in the mail, and an unexpected check. Those are all jackpots. The angels always let us know, like, everything that comes to you that you receive, you have gratitude for that, and that's a jackpot, right? If somebody does something for you, or someone gives you any type of funds, you always say thank you, you show your gratitude, and you thank the angels and whomever gave it to you for that jackpot. That's a win. That's a win. You didn't have to have that. So that's what the breathing in. It's a way for you to connect to your visualization.
Yeah. And a win is a win. So absolutely.
It's a jackpot, and that's another thing we always say. Jackpot when you get, when you receive something, that's part of your gratitude. Yes. And signing your signature is another big ticket item, because that's part of the process. You're taking an action. So taking actions towards your goal is part of the process as well. So now if I'm signing my signature, I'm signing it because I'm signing it on the back of a check. That's what I do when I receive that check. I have to sign it before I deposit it, but I'm already doing that, for the lottery and for jackpots, whatever it is that I'm choosing to have and create. Everyone should know you should be doing that now. I'm doing those things in the now. What I'm going to do with my finances, who I'm going to give to, um, if I what I'm going to spend it on, what I'm going to invest it on. I'm doing all of that. I have all my plans already for those things. So that's all part of the manifestation process.
Would you say you're trying to imprint this upon your subconscious as well?
I would say that it definitely does. I would say that when you have your sessions with the angel, you really are communicating with your higher self. That's what the angel is connecting to. People call it your soul, right? So you're really in your sessions connecting to the angels, connecting to your soul, your being, right? We're in this physical body, right? But we all have our inner beings. So that's what the angel is connecting to, right? So when you're connected to your higher self, the sky is the limit. Now you have your sessions and you're working on manifestation, manifesting your goals, right? So now within that process, you're creating everything, you're bringing it to your physical reality because you're aware of this process that you're consciously creating, like I said, the clear cut path in this case to win, right? A jackpot or the lottery or whatever it is that you're choosing, but it's not by luck at all, or by chance. It's definitely a part, all of it is a part of it.
So most people watching or listening to this right now believe in this sort of thing, or they're at least open-minded to it. But what about people that are skeptical? Like, what do you say to someone that just thinks this is all nonsense and that it is just coincidence or the right place at the right time?
I would say I would bring it back to what I said about the angels giving us and letting us know that every thought and every word is an actual prayer. Because that's deep. You know what I mean? Like, we've all heard people say things like the power of the spoken word or what you say. But for the angel to bring it to your thoughts, you know how often you have a thought? You know what I mean? Like, that's not really something that you usually pay attention to, right? So for the angel to say that every single thought and every single word is a prayer that's going out to the universe and it will be answered, right? And to be careful with what you think and be very careful about what you say, because you can never vibrate to not winning and win. So for someone that, says like, "Oh, she's just lucky." I'm like, "Okay," cuz I get that all the time. All the time. Cuz people, like I said, I don't just win jackpots, or casino wins, lottery. If you had like a raffle at your school or church or something, I would win that also. I've been doing that, for my whole life. So people do feel like I'm lucky. But what I know is that I do have a winning energy. And the reason why I know that I manifested this is, like I said, because I had a lot to come through on my journey, which is why I'm beyond grateful. Words are so inept with explaining and describing my gratitude to Jamela, and the angels that she channels, because I was in so much internal pain that it was blocking. It started to block my wealth, and I had a lot of work to do on myself because of my experience, and just some things I had experienced on my journey had me to not feel deserving and worthy at a certain point on my journey. So I wasn't creating the wealth that I am deserving and worthy of. And I know that now. So I had a lot of sessions and I did a lot of work to heal myself, because you know if you're walking around in internal pain, you give pain. You will receive pain and you give pain as well to others. So there's a certain way that you are, or you're being, and you can block things from yourself, what they call like self-sabotage yourself, just because of the state that you're in. So I really had to clear, my energy, and I'm sitting here speaking about it, but boy was it a process. I'm sitting here as if it was not something that took me years and a lot for me to come through, and just a lot of guidance that I received. And I'm not just sitting here saying, like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, I won the jackpot and it was just a lucky day for me." No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that I had a lot of work to do on myself, and I'm so grateful that I was able to heal myself so that I could learn that I am deserving and I am worthy of all of the bountiful blessings, that we can receive and create in our lives. So for someone that's skeptical, I would say you gotta watch what you say and what you think, because you can never vibrate to being a winner if you're feeling like a skeptic, or you're saying that you're saying that you're skeptical about something, that you may benefit from turning that around, and experiencing what life can be like on the positive side of things, the whole glass is full. That's another thing the angel said. Like, it's not the glass is half empty or half full. The glass is full. Okay. The angel says, like, it's not like one door closes and another door will open. No, no, no. All doors are open. Right. So it's definitely more than a mindset shift. Right. It's literally working on just like a personalized path for yourself. Really, it it's not for the weary. Healing yourself and really taking a look in the mirror and really acknowledging what you have to work on in you. And you could always tell by what you encounter on your journey, right? That's really serious. It's deep work that you're doing for you and on you, right? And once you get to that point, and that's where I am today, sitting here speaking about it, my gratitude is through the roof because I know I've had support with this. I know I didn't just do it by luck. I know that me saying, as I release, I receive. Me giving to one of the things that we do as a collective, the Wealth Party, we all go out on the same day or within the same week, and we call people with humans without homes. We call them the Earth people, people that live on the Earth plane, and we go every couple of months together, and we give food and gifts, finances, just a card to say, here's a care package for you. And just thank you for being a part of the human race. We give back, right? And just seeing that, another thing to add to that is we also see that person that we're giving to when we give to them as wealthy, right? That's deep. I know. I know that's deep. Right. So when you're giving the person a care package, the gratitude, it just brings tears because now that I'm sitting here talking to you, I could feel their gratitude when I'm giving this care package to 20, 25 people. I'm from New York, so I go right to Manhattan, like around Madison Square Garden, the amount of people. So that's what I would say, to someone that feels skeptical or feels like, oh, she's just lucky, right? She just happened to win a jackpot. Mm-mm. I created that. I manifested that win, and many more. There's been many.
And the glass is half full. It's not even half full. It's all the way full. That's the way you see this. I love this. What is your best advice for someone that is hoping to manifest a 19,000 jackpot win or any sort of jackpot win?
Look at yourself knowing that everything that I have just stated here, I did it, I'm doing it, and you can do it as well. This is definitely within your reach. You could absolutely walk right over to a slot machine and win, as well. As we pay attention to ourselves and we stay in gratitude and we give back to others and we know that we are deserving of this, right? And that we are so worthy of this. When you do your meditations and just take a moment to just go within. The angels always say, just go within, dear one, right? When we take that time to just manifest and go within and to focus on our goals, that it is within your reach. Yes, I have done it. And you can absolutely do it too, because like I said, the angel says every prayer is always answered. And every prayer is a thought, is every word that you speak. So you absolutely can reach this goal. You can create this kind of wealth on your journey. Like I said, I've already won again because we first spoke. I haven't even deposited the check yet, but you absolutely can create this as well. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are all about
Yeah.
creation on this channel and all about winning. But we do also encourage people to play responsibly if you're watching or listening to this, of course.
Yes. When you invest, The angel doesn't say like playing, slot machines. The angel definitely refers to it as an investment. So with that, just the word investment allows you to know to be responsible, right? Because now, yes, I've deposited or I've invested whatever I'm choosing to for that day, but I wouldn't go past that because I'm investing, you know? Yeah. In me, and in you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, investing in your
Yes.
self-love, investing. I love that. And for people that might be interested, this wealth party, we can just find this on the internet if we want to check this out.
Yes, and I'll definitely, provide you with the website for Jamila Shabazz. It's called Angel Guidance. Yes, you can definitely go on the website and they could, perhaps sign up for a session, or look up the wealth party and see how, because in the wealth party, you actually do receive step-by-step guidance on how to bring you more wealth. That's the actual the the goal of it. That's literally what it's for. So yes, and you could definitely go on the website. And I'll also give you my Instagram as well. Like if people want to reach out to me to get some more information.
Where can people find you on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm called Royal Unicorn Nye. That's me. Everybody calls me the unicorn. And the website for Jamila Shabazz, the wealth party, and her company is called Angel Guidance, and it has completely changed my life, and I will forever be in gratitude. I probably wouldn't even be here, without them, because I have absolutely done a lot of work on myself on the journey, and to be able to sit here today just happy, really happy, um, inside and out, every day, and learning how to make the best of every situation, healing myself, is all of that is honestly the biggest win that I've ever had. And I have won on my journey already over $100,000, at one time, some years ago. But the biggest win in my life that I have ever had is healing myself from my past pain and trauma, and bringing a new outlook on my life. When I first went to them, I was 100% a victim. And today I am 100% not just a survivor, but I am victorious.
That is
You're
beautiful. I love
welcome.
that.
You're
Well,
welcome.
thank you very much, Naheelah. And we will definitely link to your Instagram in the description if you're watching this, or in the show notes if you're listening to this today. But is there anything else you wanted to say today about your experience, your story, or your mindset, or just anything that you wanted to say today that I didn't ask?
Well, I'll leave you with I'll be back. Okay? And I'll be back to tell you about the biggest win that I've ever created on my journey. So we'll do a part 2.
Well, I look forward to
Thank
it.
you. I
Absolutely.
am.
You are in it to win it. Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
welcome.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really,
Thank
really,
you.
really, really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
So we put our names in and all 3 of us got selected. It was super crazy. It's like I want to say a dream come true, but it's like you can't even imagine it unless you've had the experience, I think. So they called her up there and she got to play, and then they told her that the prize was the Cadillac, and she wins. She puts all the numbers together, gets the right price of the Cadillac. It was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And so I just started studying about law of attraction, law of assumption. I had like a vision that I was going to win the lottery. It was clear as day. It was like I saw it, and then I heard, you're going to win the lottery.